Jeff, it's John. Decision time. Yeah, I need to see you at the hospital then.
Feels strange being in a school again.
Did you ever get the cane when you were little?
What do you think?
I bet my dad did.
Hey, he was a little angel, your dad was.
Think I'll get the cane?
I doubt it. I don't know if they give the cane anymore. But you'll probably be asked to scrub that swimming pool out.
Any sign?
They're on their way.
Good.
How soon will this transplant take place?
Apparently, there's a possible recipient in Leeds. If Laura's parents say yes, the liver could be in a helicopter and on its way by 4:35 o'clock. They'd have the recipient prepared for surgery by then. And with a bit of luck, a full theatre team on standby. It takes quite a lot of coordination.
Seems incredible, doesn't it? All for just a little piece of a body.
Seems incredible to the recipient. But can you imagine how they feel? It's a life to them. Do you think they'll agree?
I don't know.
Do you want me to leave you alone with them to begin with?
Yeah, I prefer it if you did. Yeah.
Can you just be careful not to twist their arm, you know, make them feel guilty for having doubts. It's a difficult time for parents.
Who isn't it difficult for?
We're luckier, I suppose. We see the benefits of a transplant because we see someone being given a second chance. We see it as a kind of new beginning. Perhaps you could try and help them look at it in that way. I need to grab a bite.
If you get a chance when they come, just to confirm everything officially, you know, I think they'd take it better coming from you.
Of course. Just get the desk to beat me, okay? I won't be long.
Look, Harry, you said you'd help me with membership of the club.
You're past helping you.
Ah, come on, you said you would. This committee meeting tomorrow, what are they going to ask me?
Well, it depends who's on the committee. I mean, they all have their own likes and dislikes. They can be very funny, these people on committees, you know. And they can be two-faced as well.
Well, who's going to be there? Then I'll know who to watch.
I'm not sure. Mr. Parkins will be the chairman. Hope you've got all your answers ready.
Well, not properly, no.
You're not going in cold, are you?
Not completely cold.
Ralph, these are ex-military men. They've got trained minds, plans of attack, strategies, interrogation methods.
Well, they'll be prepared then, won't they?
Well, get cracking if I were you.
Do you think we could have a trial run at tea time?
Oh, fair enough. But hey, a word to the wise. Don't mention those ancestors of yours. You know, the ones that got shipped to Australia.
Slow down, Cartwright. And you, Jackson.
Oh, sorry to keep you waiting. First day of term, things can get a bit hectic. Confiscated. Good afternoon, Mrs. Rogers. I'm Mrs. Lang, head of pastoral care.
Hello.
Jeffrey, would you mind waiting outside for a minute? I'd like a word with your mum. Please sit down, Mrs. Rogers.
Thank you.
Now, I'm sorry to have to ask you to come in.
Or is it something serious?
Oh, not yet. Now, in my job, I don't actually teach Jeff, but I look after his welfare. Now, he's been referred to me by his form teacher. And basically what I do is I try to sort out any difficulties and let the teaching staff get on with the teaching.
Oh, and Jeff suddenly become a difficulty?
We're just a bit worried about him.
In what way?
Well, lots of kids sometimes experience some sort of difficulty at home, which at some stage is bound to affect their schoolwork.
I wasn't aware there was any difficulty at home.
Well, I believe you've just moved house?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, well, moving house sometimes has an unsettling effect on a child. But Jeffrey seems to think he's come off rather well out of the move.
Well, we were living before it was too small, really, so for a long time Jeff didn't have a room of his own.
Well, you see, that's the sort of thing that might come under the heading of difficulties at home.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant we were beating him up or something.
Oh, not at all, no. In that sort of situation, we tend to pick up the signals much more quickly. But with a case like Jeff's, you notice things much more slowly.
So what exactly has been happening at school?
Well, really, it's what's not been happening. He's not doing well with his work at all. And then when he is in the classes, he's not behaving himself.
But there's no harm in him, though, is there?
No, not really. But the further he gets behind with his work, the harder it's going to be for him to keep up. Now, the harder it is for him to keep up, the more he invents ways to distract himself. Now, that's all right if he's by himself, but when he's in a class full of kids, that amounts to disruptive behavior.
I don't understand. One minute they tell us she's already dead, and the next he tells us she can die in our arms in a couple of hours. I don't understand.
Okay.
It's difficult, I know.
But if they diagnose she's already dead, and then they operate for a transplant, and then she's brought back to us to die, it means she'll have died twice. It must do.
I'll be with you as soon as I can. Mr. Wright, the tests we have done show that there is no activity in Laura's brain. She is what we call brain dead. At the moment, the ventilator is allowing the organs in Laura's body to function. But that is all. There is, I'm afraid, no life in any sense of the word. That is why I've asked permission to switch off the ventilator. If you decide to allow an organ to be donated, she will be kept on the ventilator until after the operation. I'll leave you to discuss it, if you excuse me.
You see, there's nothing more we can do for Laura.
You do everything, though, don't you, for your children?
I know what you mean. The worst thing about all this is that it's out of your control, isn't it? Can't protect her anymore. It's in the doctor's hands now.
Oh, I trust them, John. It's not that I don't trust them.
They've done their best for Laura. And it's not their fault they failed. The thing is, there are other patients they want to do the best for. So Laura dies, but at the same time, she can renew somebody else's life.
How could she die in our arms, John?
As I said, after the operation, she'd still be on the ventilator. So that's when we could spend the last few moments with her.
She should go peacefully, though. We want that, don't we?
She'll have felt no pain.
But we should be able to remember as she was, not all cut up and emptied out.
She'll look exactly as she looks now. She'll not look any different.
Am I wrong, Dot? I don't know. She should at least be able to go to the grave as perfect as the day she was born.
That's the problem, John. She's still our baby, really.
I know.
But when she was born, the first thing they tell you, she's perfect. And then you look at her and you hold her. And she's more perfect than you deserve. And now... there'll be some poor soul somewhere wondering if this is their chance, won't there? We can't condemn two souls, can we?
Mr. Parry says you like games.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, miss.
And he says he never notices any signs of sickness or fatigue during the PE sessions. I don't think you've got any recorded absences on games days. Or is it one? Ah, yes, you had one on the last day of term. Oh, well, at least that rules you out of the paint in the swimming pool business. Yes, games seems to be graced with your presence more than any of the others.
Are you saying Jeff's been missing lessons?
Oh, not just single lessons. No, I was just wondering if there was a pattern to these absences.
Did Mr. Parry say I might get in the team, miss?
Yes, he did. Well done. But being in the team is only part of being at school.
How many lessons has Jeff missed?
Oh, well, quite a number, really. I mean, if he is sick, of course, there's nothing we can do about that. But one of the suggestions I was going to make to you today is that for the next term at least, every time Jeff requires time off school, if you could produce a doctor's note.
Well, what's wrong with a note from me?
Well, after last term, the notes from you became so frequent that that's why the case got referred to me. I think I've got them all here somewhere.
Look, don't get me wrong, Doctor. Don't get me wrong. We admire your skills. We admire what you can all do today. But to Laura, to our Laura, that makes it difficult.
I know that.
But then you have to look at it the other way round, don't you? Suppose we'd been waiting on someone else's offer to save Laura's life. Imagine how we'd have felt if they'd said no.
It's hard not to be selfish, Doctor.
So many days have gone by, so many weeks. We've just been hoping. Every day you wake up and you think there'll be some good news today. It's hard to be so final. It's hard to be so definite. You just can't bring yourself to say it, can you?
I think we've got to find it in ourselves to say it, Jeff. I think we've got a duty to Laura. We should do what she wanted. She never had the chance to bear a child. She never had a chance to give life herself. If it'd been her wish, we wouldn't have stood against her, would we? We wouldn't even have thought of it. If you think about her, she loved all of us. She would have stood by us. That girl grew inside me, John. And whatever they take out of Laura grew inside me. It's part of me. She was our little girl. And this is her chance, really, isn't it? To bear life in some way. It's the gift of life, isn't it?
Yes. May we go ahead?